Welcome back. This is a beginner guide tutorial on creating 3D maps in QGIS like this. You can create 3D maps in QGIS. You can see how it is looking. So like this you can easily create 3D maps. If you are a beginner, you can just follow these steps and create 3D maps like this. Followed by this, we are going to also see how to create 3D building view in QGIS. So if you are a beginner to QGIS, please do follow up the channel. Now you can see the 3D view of the building. So this is a 3D view of building. I'll be showing you how to create a 3D view, how to create 3D views using building dataset. So that is also we are going to cover in this video. So now let us first begin with how to create the 3D maps using the digital elevation model dataset. So you can directly download it using QGIS. So there is a special plugin available for it. So in order to install that plugin, go to plugin options and select manage and install plugins. So this is the plugin manager from where you can download and install plugins. So in the search, just type in OpenTopography. So you can find this plugin OpenTopography. So for me it's already installed. So it is asking me to uninstall or reinstall. For if you are installing for the first time, the installation option will be available at the bottom. You can click and install it, and after it has been installed, you can just close it. So you can basically download the DEM datasets from here, like SRTM in 30 meters, 90 meters, ALOS World 3D datasets, SRTM and global bathymetry. Likewise, you can see Copernicus, global DSM, and NASA STEM, Europe's DTM 30 meters. These kind of datasets are available. You can download it and use it. So after installing it, let us close it. Now let us navigate to raster, and from there you can find this plugin OpenTopography DEM downloader. Just click in. So you could see here, first is we are going to select the type of DEM which we require. So in this case I'm going to select SRTM DEM. So basically the DEM provides us the surface elevation datasets in a raster format. So I have chosen SRTM DEM 30 meter resolution. And next thing is we are going to define an extent to download it. So you can see here there are many options available. So before getting into it, so let us load a base map. So why I am telling to load a base map is that we can easily identify our area of interest using the base maps. There are a lot of base maps available in QGIS, and there are many plugins also available. For example, you can see HCMJS plugins. You can see a lot of base maps are available. So if you haven't installed any of these plugins, the QGIS latest versions is having this option. So you can find the XYZ tiles. From here also you can load the base maps. In the browser, from the top, if you just come down, you can see this XYZ tiles. From here you can directly add the satellite images or base maps. So I am going to add Google satellite image. So you can see here, this is the Google satellite image. If you want to know the places exactly, you can also use Google satellite hybrid, so that you can easily find out the region names. So we just need to zoom in. So I have zoomed into a particular location. After that, so this is my area of interest. So I'm going to remove this hybrid after knowing my area, because we are being provided with the labels, so we can easily find out our area. So after that, we are going to just fix our study area. So you can see here, this is this mountain, which for this I am going to create a 3D view. and followed by that we are going to export it as a 3D map also. So you can see here we are going to pick this area up. So we just move on to rasters and once again choose this OpenTopography DEM downloader. Once again we are going to choose the dataset SRTM 30 meters, and followed by that we are going to calculate the extent. Okay, right? So the extent for which we are going to download the DEM data, that we are going to specify. So here you can find multiple options for specifying the extent for which you are looking to interested in downloading the DEM dataset. So first is calculate from layer. If you have any layers, you can use it and use that extent to download the DEM. Using that extent, you can download the DEM for your area of interest. Otherwise, you can use calculate from map layout. From this map layout, it will be calculating, right? And followed by that, you can also use calculate from bookmarks. So you can also use current map canvas extent, this extent. So I'm going to simply choose draw on a map canvas. So I'm going to draw. So I'm going to use my mouse left click to draw a box like this and say this is my area of interest, right, for generating the 3D maps and 3D view. So now I have set the extent for which I am interested to download the DEM dataset. Followed by that, you can see here, you can see enter your API key or use the existing one below, right? So if you don't find any API key, you can simply get your API keys. Just use the browser option. So here you can just type in OpenTopography, right? And you can just visit OpenTopography. So OpenTopography is providing a lot of elevation related datasets which are freely available for academic uses, as well as you can also buy the data from OpenTopography. You can directly click on request an API key. So this API key is only for academic use, not for commercial use. Please do keep that in mind. And if you are already having an account, you can put your username and password. Otherwise, you can just click on create a new account, right? You can just follow it up. You can fill up this easy. It will be very easy, and you can directly submit. So after creating an account, you will be asked for a verification. You will be asked through email. You can verify it, and after that, you can just click on login. So you can see here, for me the API key is already available. So for you it will be showing get an API key. You can just request it and you will be getting the API key. You can just copy it and bring it back to QGIS, and here you can just paste it up. Now the final option is we are going to save the output raster, the DEM dataset, to a particular location. Use this option and save it to any particular location, or you can also use save it as a temporary file, but it won't be available after you have closed the project. So it is better to save it to any particular file. So now I am going to save it to a particular location, and I am going to name it as DEM underscore 30, right, 30 meter resolution. You can give any name to it. So after that, click on run. The download will be starting. You can see here it has started to request, and you can see the progress. You can just check it up. Within few seconds it will be up to, you can see it has been updated. You got the result, right? So we have got the DEM dataset. You can just see here, this is the DEM dataset which we have downloaded for our study. Now the next thing is, this is the data from which we are going to develop the 3D map and 3D visualization using this DEM data. Followed by that, we also required some satellite images so that we can overlay on top of this DEM dataset. So for that, save this satellite images up to the DEM dataset extent, right? So select the Google satellite Basemap, and you can see export. Select save as. Now here at the top, unselect create VRT. Now we are going to save it to save it to a particular location. So use browse option and navigate where to save this data. So here I am going to save it as a image. This is a base image, right? And followed by that you can see the horizontal and vertical. So here I am going to choose 5 and 5. If you want the image to be in much higher clarity, you can reduce it to 4, 3, 2 like that, but the amounts of size the image will be much larger, and the time taken for it to download will be also will be differing 15 to 20 minutes based on your internet speed, right? And let us now calculate the layer extent. So I am going to download the satellite image for the DEM dataset extent. So till this DEM dataset extent, we'll be downloading the Basemap, that is the satellite imagery from Google. So now click on OK to begin the process. You can see check the progress down below. So you can see here it has been successfully downloaded. We can verify it. So let us remove the Basemap, and followed by that, now if you just remove this DEM dataset, you can see the image is being downloaded. You can see the image clarity. So I have set 5. If you want the image to be much clearer, you can go for 3, 2, 1, right? Now let us move on to creating 3D maps. So we have got the DEM datasets as well as the overlaying satellite imagery. So you can overlay any images on top of this DEM dataset, right? So first we are going to choose the DEM dataset, right? And now what we are going to do is, you can see the option layer and move on to view. So in view you can find 3D maps view, and here you can create new 3D map view, right? So you can click here. So like this, a small 3D map tab will be opening up. You can also directly use this button to create a 3D maps, right? So let me extend it. So this is the 3D map, but you can see here currently it is not in 3D view. First you can navigate it. You can long press the scroll button and you can tilt the image like this. You can move the image, right? Top, bottom, like this, you can see it. So now you can see here it is not in 3D, right? We are not seeing anything in 3D, right? Okay. So now you can find the options, configure. So click on configure, right? Now here in the terrain options, you can find type. So in type, please select DEM, right? And after that we are going to select the elevation. So the elevation is nothing but the DEM data which we have downloaded. So DEM, right? Now after that click on apply, click OK. Now let us see whether it is in 3D or not. Now you can see here, you can see some changes to the terrain, but it is still, we can't see it in 3D. Why? So for that we are going to once again go to the option settings, and here you can set the vertical scale. So I am going to set the vertical scale to 2.5 in this case, right? And after that click apply and click OK. Now you can see the image how it looks like, right? So now you can see here, now it is in 3D. So what this does is, you can also increase the vertical scale to 3 or sometimes 3.5 to 4 based on your study area. This vertical scale actually differentiates the lower elevation with the higher elevation. By increasing the vertical scale, you can clearly distinguish between the elevated region and a low lying region. So for that you can set the vertical scales. So we have set the vertical scales to 3, right? and you can see that some gaps are to be found, processing errors. So in order to remove that, you can change the skirt height to 200 and click on apply. Now you can see here it has been removed, and followed by that you can also use terrain shading options. Click on apply and click OK. Now you can see here, you can see and visualize the terrain in 3D, right? Still you can also overlay this image on top of it, and if you now visualize it, it will be looking much more meaningful, like this. You can see here, right? You can just check in how the image looks like. You can just zoom in and zoom into any locations. You can use this scroll button to navigate like this. You can use the scroll button to zoom in and zoom out. If you long press the scroll button, you can easily navigate it in the top and side views. So you can also use this option to navigate, toggle on screen navigation. So for example, you can see here, you can move like this. Right? Like this also you can visualize it. So still you can see some gaps over here. Let me try to increase the skirt height to 250 in order to remove such gaps in the data. Now it is fine, right? So like this you can overlay n numbers of base maps also. For example, I am just removing this image. Instead of that, I am going to add some other like this ESRI topographic map. So you can see here, let us visualize it in QGIS now. Now you can see here how it looks like, right? So like this you can add n number of base maps to on the top of it, or topo sheets. If you have topo sheets, you can overlay it on the top. You can also add shape files to it. For example, let me add an vector layer. So you can see here I am having add a road network to it. Click on open and add. So like this shapefile also can be added. So you can see here I have added the road layers. So these are the road networks in shapefile. So if I once again go back to this 3D, now you can see here how it looks like. So like this you can overlay vector data to it, and you can also visualize it, right? So like this you can create 3D maps. You can see here, you can directly export this image by using this option, export, save as image, like this. You can save it to any locations. So if I save it, let us view in file manager. You can see the view of this image. You can directly zoom in, like this. You can export it. So you can set the scene accordingly and export it. You can rotate it like this. You can rotate it and export it accordingly, right? So in order to export it in a better quality, there is another option. So let me minimize it and go back to QGIS. So let me remove this road shapefile. It's quite a big large data. So I'll also be sharing this data with you. You can just work out using this data sets and create 3D maps. So click on new print layout. So we can provide any title to that layout. After that, click on OK. Now you can see here, in order to add the map, So you can find add 3D map option, so click on it, and followed by that you can just draw a box like this, right? Now after that, so right now the scene has been not set, so move on to item properties, and from here you can see copy settings from 3D view. So from there we are going to select 3D map 1. So if you have multiple maps, you can choose it from it accordingly. Right now we have just have one map, so now you can see here how it looks like. So if you just open the 3D map, you can see currently how it has been set. So based on that you will be getting the outcome in the exporting option, right? You can set it accordingly and export it. Now move on to the option layout, and from here you can find export as an image. Click on export as image and save it to any particular location. So I'm going to just give the name 3D and hit save. Now you can see here you can set the export DPI. So in this case I'm going to set the export DPI to 500. You can also increase the DPI to 600, 700, 800 as you need. So now click on save. Now click on save. Within a few seconds it will be exported. So the image has been successfully exported, that you can check. So now you can see how the image looks like, right? So like this you can create and export 3D maps in QGIS, right? Now let us see how to create a 3D building view in QGIS. So let's get started. How to create 3D building views in QGIS. So let us remove those layers first, right? So now we are going to add the building layers, that is in vector. So let us select it, and so here you can see build-ups. So that is the file which I am going to load. As you can see here, these are the build-ups polygon, and what you can basically find in this is nothing but the IDs, and for each building you can see the building height is available. For each building it is available. So with that only we are going to create a 3D view of this building in QGIS. For example, now you can see here, if I select this buildings from here, you can see some of this buildings has been highlighted. So each buildings will be having their own height. Using that height we are going to create a 3D view of this buildings, right? So first let me unselect the buildings, and after that we are going to add some base maps to QGIS. So you can load any base maps to it. So I'm going to add open cycle maps, and I'm going to bring the building to the top, and after that you can see here how it is. And let us go to the view and select new 3D map view, click on it, and now you can see how this building is looking like. You can use the scroll button, long press it, and you can bring the cursor down, right, left, to like this. You can move around the maps. You can add any kind of base maps to it, and you can currently see there isn't any view of the building isn't in any 3D form. So in order to set it to 3D, what we are going to do is we are going to select this building layers, and we are going to go to the option properties. So inside properties you can find 3D view. So inside 3D view we are going to select single symbology, and you can see the option over here, extrusion. So you can actually set the, or you can set the building height using the attributes. So in this case we are having two attributes details. One is IDs of the building and height of the building. So I'm going to choose height because we are going to create the 3D map using the height of the building, right? And after that you can see altitude clamping. So here I'm going to select terrain, and I'm going to just leave this as it is. And finally you can see here there is an option called as edges. So let me click on edges so that the building will be can be visualized in a clearer manner. So now click on apply and click OK. Right, now let's go back and check in over here. Now you can see here it has been updated successfully. So now you can see the buildings. So currently it is in 3D view, right? So if you just, you can use this mouse scroll button, long press it, and you can navigate and visualize it in and around the maps you can see. So like this you can create 3D building views in QGIS. So right now you can see the building colors, right? You can also change the building colors from here. You can easily right click and move on to properties and symbology. So you can choose any color among this. From here you can choose it. It will be there in symbology, in single symbology. So you can also add some effects to it. For example, you can select show shadows and show eye dimming light like this, right? You can set it like that. And in settings you can find the effects. So here, from here, you can also show shadows to the building. You can set it from here. You can set the shadows and all. You can also choose the light direction, from which angle the light falls in, using this azimuth and altitude. You can just verify it. So like this you can create a 3D building view in QGIS. You just required building datasets, and we must have the heights of the building. So I hope that this video will be helpful to you. In order to export it, you can use this option. It will be exported, or if you want to export it in a better quality, you can use this option, print new layout. So 3D buildings, right? So click on OK, and we are going to add it from 3D. So we are going to use this option, add 3D maps. Use mouse left click to draw a box like this, and from here you can just copy the 3D map, that is 3D map 2. Like this you can create and export the image, right? You can easily export by going to layout, export as an image, 3D building. You can set the DPI, save it. Now let us see how it looks like. As a 3D map, you can give any base maps to it. So I hope that this video will be useful to you, right? You can also simply export it using this option. save as image. Actually, you can see the different size of this image, right? The secondly exported image quality will be low compared to the first exported image quality. You can see the quality of this image. So I hope that you have learned how to create 3D maps in QGIS for beginners. So I'll be also sharing this data set. You can just work it from this data set. So if you like this video, please do give a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Goodbye everyone.